we're bringing on the man, the myth. Everyone's the man, the myth, the legend themselves here in TDT Media Third Down Thursdays. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy knows the most about college football. He's a Big Ten legend, the Ohio State Buckeye, Coach Kenny. Bring him on.
I think it's absolutely insane that people are talking about firing Ryan Day. Like most coaches in college football,
yeah,
or most fans in college football,
he's hot. He's hot about this.
They would love to have that kind of track record. You go 10-2 almost every season. You're making the playoffs consistently.
Can't beat Michigan though.
I know, and that's the downside of having the biggest rivalry in sports is that if you can't beat that team, then it makes you look like a fool. But he's doing a great job in Columbus. I support him. I think it'd be foolish to fire him.
He's doing a great job of recruiting.
Yeah. I mean, we have the best wide receiver room in the country.
Until Bill Belichick walks in the room and lays out that big-ass dick of his. And he's like...
no, he's just going to ask him, and he's like, all right, asshole, you coming to Chapel Hill or not? And that's all
exactly.
He's not gonna...
That's what we talked about earlier.
Dangle's 24-year-old girlfriend in front of her face like, could be yours.
I was like, listen, you see my girlfriend? You want better than this? Come with me.
Chapel Hill.
I mean,
I will say
Chapel Hill and fuck Duke.
If Ryan Day, it's not I don't think it's a consideration, but if Ohio State fans really want Ryan Day gone, think about James Franklin and Penn State all these years. He should be gone if that is the standard, because that dude is notorious for making a New Year's Six bowl and nothing past it.
Yeah. It's that's kind of the weird thing about Ohio State fans, and it's, I label myself an Ohio State fan, obviously, but they're an entirely different breed, and I think the standard
right back
over the past 20 plus years, the standard has become way too high for what we're doing, or what they're doing rather. You have an inability to get over a couple of minor humps and then make it to the national championship. But there's 18 teams in the Big Ten now. 15 of them, maybe even 16 or 17 of them would actually love to have Ryan Day. I think Oregon's probably the only one that really would be happy just keeping Dan Lanning. But if Ryan Day became available, there's at least 80 schools, I think, in the country that would take him in a heartbeat. It's a no-brainer to keep him, no-brainer to keep progressing with the recruiting classes that they get, to keep moving on with the very good defense that they've been producing, and the offense has always been there over the past 20 years. It's ridiculous to consider it.
Hey, Cy.
Yes, sir.
Remember how I told you about those knee pads? I think we're gonna hand them to Kenny for Ryan Day.
Pass them along. I don't need them. You might.
I don't need him tonight. He can.
It just doesn't make sense, because who replaces him? There's two people that I can think of that could replace him. One is retired, and one is looking for an NFL job. Like, I don't think there's another coach right now.
Ooh, I know who you're talking about with the NFL job. I know who that person is.
Well, because he used to wear the scarlet and gray, so I think it would be a perfect fit. But again,
you want to backtrack?
Is that what works for this team? And I think Ryan Day is the answer still.
I think you should have Ron Dane. Bring Ron Dane to Ohio State.
Lane Kiffin. Woo! Another reason to hate Ohio State even more.
Kenny, you get too much shit. It's so funny.
But that's the other thing about being an Ohio State fan, is that they're like the Yankees of college football. Just everybody hates them. They figure out. I mean, people like Alabama way more than Ohio State. I don't get it, but
I can't stand either one of them. But
well, yeah, but you go to an SEC school, so that makes sense. But Alabama, for some reason, Alabama seems like rewarded and loved for being as touted as they are. Ohio State always gets shit on. It's kind of funny, but once Ohio State starts winning again, everybody's gonna have to shut up. So, and it's not like they're not winning. It's 2 games in a season.
I really just don't care.
They could make the national championship. There's a very good possibility with the path they have to take. There's a very good right possibility.
Now, Oregon got screwed.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People were complaining about the bracket, but it's a bracket. It is a bracket. That is how a bracket works.
Dude,
and if you're not okay with it, you should have said something before. This is something that has been voted on, and this is a consensus of a bracket for years and years and years and years and years. If you were going to hate on it now, you should have hated on it 5 years ago when this idea was brought up. So
yeah, I think
I liked it.
I actually
that's how bracket issues, but
I really can't say anything other than that's how it works.
I love the fact that Ohio State gets a home playoff game. I love the fact that I think all 4 home playoff games that are being played are played at like cathedrals of college football. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Kenny, good fucking point.
I think the only thing that I would consider doing is reseeding the bracket as they go through, just to keep it that Oregon gets. The only reason why I say that is because Oregon is the number 1 team in the country. They should continue to be rewarded for being that number 1 team. I understand college basketball, the bracket stays the same. That's fine. But the NHL did it for years where it would be 1 versus 8, and then it'd be 1 versus the next lowest seed.
It wouldn't be amateur.
The NFL does that as well, too. But like I said, this has been something that has been like set in stone and discussed for years and years. This isn't something that just popped up right now.
I'll be honest with you guys.
They thought about this. I
was an advocate.
They did.
So before we even started this, like our podcast and everything like that, I was actually an advocate of a 16 team like bracket. Like I wanted 16. Like 12 was fine, but my ass wanted 16 because I thought that could have been kind of fun.
I get it, but there was precedent set with a 4-team playoff, and in order to reward those 4 best teams, they had to make it 12 or make it 20. Make it 20, but then you would have to get rid of the New Year's Six Bowl type thing. I think 12 for now.
Look how far. So here's the thing, though, too, with this 12-league playoff. Look how far it's running now into January. Like this is so January 7th, January like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th was like the normal time for the national championship. Now all of a sudden it's like January 20th or some shit like that.
January 20th this year, yeah, or next year.
Yeah, and we got 2 bye weeks. Oh my gosh, I'm loving the new college football.
All right, so
I'm not complaining.
You know what? I know this is very impromptu. So the NFL is discussing 18 game season. When is the NCAA going to start talking about elongating their season?
I think you run into issues in terms of you're going to run into issues because of the fall semester leading into the winter semester. That's why there's already the 2 transfer portals, and it's not quite working out. So I don't think that you can really expand your seasons too much the way it is right now in college football. I think at most, because you have a 12-game season, conference championship, and then you would start your bowl or playoff run. So you're already at 13 games. I think the max you could probably talk about is a 14-game regular season, and that's pushing it. Then you're talking about getting rid of some of those bye weeks that Connor is excited about.
Kenny, I love
2 and 10, baby.
Kenny, I absolutely love your optimism, but like I actually think now with the NIL money and the amount of like things being invested into college football, sponsorships, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other, money talks. And I think the money's talking, and I think there's a situation that we it may not be too like super soon, but I could see it happening. Let's go 8 to 12 years. All of a sudden, like college football having like a 14, 15 game schedule.
I think it's definitely possible, but they have to just revamp.
Bye 2-week playoffs bye weeks. I think that's fucking dumb anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think
and I get it. Hold on real quick. And I get it from the whole perspective of like, let's go back. All right. I'm gonna backtrack that a little bit and just be like, okay, they're student athletes. They need to get their degrees. They need to get their studies done. They need to do this. Let's be honest. All these motherfuckers. Okay, I shouldn't say all. The vast majority of these guys aren't having they're not doing their fucking homework. They're either getting help by the teacher, like being like, this is good enough, or they're having somebody else do their homework, or AI is doing their homework. Let's be fair about this. Let's be understanding that this is totally bullshit if you think that this is all genuine the whole time with all these guys.
But I do want to say I don't think it had anything to do with an expansion of a regular season is an impossibility. I think it had everything to do with the upper level and then bleeding into the NFL season. I think that's the only reason we haven't seen more games in college football is because it would compete with the next level of what these players are trying to get to, and they don't want that. They do not want a competition of
college football play on.
What day? Saturday. But during the bowl season, it's Tuesday. Now it's Tuesday and Wednesday and still Saturday, and then we have a national championship on Monday. So it's bleeding into the games that the NFL wants people to watch most. People like me, I'm a college football fan. Bruce, you're probably the same way. Kenny, you're the same way. If college football and NFL were on the same time, I think we can all agree we're punching our ticket or remote to whatever channel college football's on. We're not watching NFL over college football. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
I'm watching NFL.
And that's the competition they don't like.
Well, it depends, depending on the game. It really depends on the game.
I was about to say, thank you, Sai. 100% depends on the game. If it's like a big, if it's like small town, like a shout out Jordan Hansen, congratulations. If it's like Northern Illinois versus like I don't know somebody else in the MAC, like
Bowling Green
or Toledo, like my ass ain't watching that like against like right now the Rams in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but we're talking postseason, Bruce. You're not going to see NIU in the postseason unless they have like.
Not true.
Football Jesus as quarterback.
Not postseason, but they actually made it to a bowl game. So.
But that's what we're discussing. Postseason would bleed into NFL postseason, and you're going to watch college football postseason. I know I am. The SEC championship, for example, became the most viewed championship game ever. This past SEC championship.
Postseason?
That's what we're discussing. If you expand, I'm not going NFL. There's no way.
College.
There's no way. I'm going college every time. I'm not picking NFL playoffs. I do not care what leads up. NFL is almost like the NBA to me now, where I just want to
happening. Hold on, time out. It's already happening though. It's already going to happen, right? Like it's like because the last NFL playoff game, or excuse me, a regular season game is January 5th or 6th.
Yeah. That's why the championship's on a Monday, is to avoid the Sunday playoff games.
Right, exactly. But it's already bleeding into the NFL.
Yeah. And I think if you keep the New Year's Six bowls, you're going to have to finagle something else in order to make that work. But as long as the New Year's Six bowls are prevalent in the college playoff system, I don't think that we're going to continue to see an expansion and bleeding with college football.
I agree.
It would just make it too awkward.
But you could still have an expansion because there are, I think, 2 buys on a college football schedule. Am I correct on this?
Yes.
So you can still see an expansion.
Week 0.
You can still see it, and week 0. Good call, Kenny. Thank you.
Get rid of week 0 and Army Navy week if you want to have 2 extra games. Those are not needed. That's not needed. Get rid of it.
It's going to happen. But it's going to happen.
I think Army Navy should move to the conference championship game.
Yes,
and I think it should be played. I think it should be the noon game, and then the conference championships should all start at 3 and later. You give Army Navy its due. It's America's game. You let them play it out, and then you start your slate of college football. It'd be a good lead-in too.
USA.
But there's no world where a game other than the national championship should have its own week. There's no way. That Army and Navy, I get it. In college, Bruce. In college.
Got it. My bad.
There's no way that a game other than national championship should have its own week. That's the biggest game of the year. Are you going to compare Army Navy to the national championship?
Or Army Navy should move to week 0
because
to have
those
its
are
own
people that are going to serve our country. So 100%.
I get that, and I get that why it's but you have to make sacrifices in order to gain expansion.
I'm pretty sure they're giving all the sacrifice of serving our country. So
no, and I get that, Bruce. I'm not like advocating against soldiers. I'm not like trying to diminish the value of it.
I'm gonna tell you right now that deserves a lot more. They deserve their own week.
And that's fine, but I'm not advocating for an expansion of a regular season. I'm just telling you what the possibilities of a regular season expansion would have to happen.
Week 0. Turn week 0 into week 1.
I agree. I think it's
This
stupid
week,
to have.
you're only
this
gaining
week can either be
one game.
But you're
I
only
mean,
gaining
at the
one
end of the
game.
day, at the
fine.
end of the day, every big program is going to end up like searching out and like this is old, by the way, because I actually do think that big programs have gotten better about this. But the week one's going to be like playing Mary Sisters, Queen of the Blind. You know what I'm saying? So like, who gives a shit? So just expand
a lot of that's
it, and let's continue the betting markets to get bigger, and let's have some fun.
a lot of that though. Those week one matchups are designed to be like their preseason games though, because
Correct.
there is no preseason in college football. You can't legally scrimmage another team, so you have to have these.
Mhm.
You know, Ohio State has to play Bowling Green week one in order to hopefully fine tune the team and get them.
Unless
ready
they
for it.
lose.
Well,
Which sometimes happens.
the Wolverines lose to Appalachian State. You know, that happens, but
That was awesome, by the way. I remember that.
I still have that Sports Illustrated cover.
Hey, me too. I have it too. The fucking block.
Yeah, oh, it was
Yep.
beautiful.
I have it.
Hang it in the Louvre.
Oh, I don't have it hanging. I just have I have a fuck ton of Sports Illustrated like not covers, but like anyway. All right. Well, we should probably like go on to picks because like
we have like 4 minutes left.
4 minutes.
I know
Wait,
this is awesome.
Should we just?
You know what?
I mean,
though?
we could.
That might have
cut
been
off NFL.
that might have been flat out. That might have been the most like genuine like coach's corner freaking segment we've had in a while.
Oh, I'm
We needed
posting
that.
it. I'm posting it. But I mean, should we talk about Army Navy week now that we've expanded on it?
Yeah, why not? Who cares?
As much as we
course.
can. I don't care to do NFL picks if I'm being honest.
I'm fine.
It brings
it's all
no
good.
substance to me.
All right, so you've got Army Navy this week, the one game of college football, like we said. They have met 124 times total. All time, Navy actually holds the record 62, 55, and 7. Longest winning streak was also by Navy. They have a 14-game streak between 2002 and 2015. What else we got? First meeting was 1890, so way back. They typically meet every year, but they did take about 10 years off here and there. They've met consistently every year since 1930. This will be the first time since I lost it. First time in a significant amount of time. Sorry, I lost the year. That you have Army, both teams with Army and Navy, both at winning records. Army obviously went 11-1 this season. I think they should be in the playoffs with that kind of record, but I guess we're gonna let
Strength of schedule.
Yeah, no, I get it. I respect the whole system.
SMU's
I'm just saying.
No offense, guys.
I want to rant about that so
at
bad.
11-1, but
why not?
I think if they would have beat Notre Dame, they would have made the
Watch your
playoffs
mouth.
easily. 5 times since 1963. Both teams have had winning records. I did some research. In my opinion, the two best players to ever play for each academy, Roger Staubach from Navy, and then Alejandro Villanueva, an offensive lineman from Army. Great heroes.
Nice.
They do
Love
have
that
the
pool.
one
USAA,
cool thing.
baby.
That's a great fucking pull.
Great fucking pull.
I think one of the coolest things, and I got to see it when I went to the game in Philadelphia, they call it a prisoner exchange. So every year, one Army cadet, one Navy cadet switch academies and study for a semester there. During the game, they actually go to the 50-yard line and trade them back to their respective academies so that they can still root for their team.
Cool.
It was really cool, and they like dress up the player or dress up the cadet in like their garments and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see.
Wow, I didn't know that. Awesome.
Some notable games. 1926, the game was held at Soldier Field. It was 100,000 people in attendance.
Back when Soldier Field was actually good before the Bears destroyed it, and the McCaskey family fucked everything over. Fuck you, Bears.
And Chicago. Chicago ruined it.
Yeah, good call. Fuck you, Chicago. Fuck this.
Hoping is so crazy right now.
It actually went to a 21-21 tie as a dedication to the World War I memorial that it was built for. 1963, the game was almost paused because of the JFK assassination. It was held in Philadelphia, though. Roger Staubach led Navy to a decisive victory on December 7th, which is the anniversary of the Pearl Harbor bombing. So it was going to be a Navy day, it seemed like, either way. That being said, this year, it's being held at Northwest Field, which is where the Commanders play. Army is favored by 6.5 points. The over-under is at a super low 38.5. With that being said, I think Army cruises to a victory. I actually think they win by 10 points this week. So I'll take it. I say 24-14. Yeah, 24-14 Army.
I 100% agree with Kenny on this. And to talk more shit about the Chicago Bears and the poverty ass franchise, the Soldier Field actually used to be a national landmark until they turned it into a space shuttle. So fuck you, Chicago Bears and the Chicago Park District, because you're fucking clowns and you destroyed history. Continuing what Kenny was saying, though, God bless our men. I'm going to take the hat off for this. God bless our men and ladies that work their asses off and serve our country. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Army's been playing some good ball this year, and Kenny is 100% correct. Should have been a part of the playoff. Thought they should have been. It's questionable, and we cover them, whether SMU should have been a part of that. And I know strength of schedule was a part of that, so we can talk about that. And Connor, you're more than welcome to pop off about it, because I'm kind of curious to hear it. That being said, Army wins by, I'm gonna say, by 12.
Okay, so as I'm staring at my SMU credentials,
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold my thoughts on that because you beat us by 3. Clemson only won by 3.
Longest field goal in ACC history. Sorry. Sorry. You can continue. Sorry.
I'm going to hold my opinions because I know if I start arguing with Connor, I'm going to lose. And I have respect for myself. I don't want to embarrass myself again. So, as to the game that we're talking about, I like that it's going to be low scoring. I'm definitely taking under on this game. However, I'm not going Army purely on the fact of everybody's going to take Army. Navy is still a good team.
That's the reason why you stopped betting. Remember how you were like, "Oh, I'm not betting anymore." So
yeah, I didn't bet tonight. It's okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't get the bet. It's for the best. It's for the best. I don't know ball. We all know that. Come on now.
So that being said, don't fucking listen to Cy right now. Go ahead, Cy. So, what do you like?
I don't like you guys. Navy 17, Army 10. I want a low scoring game. Let the defenses battle it out. And then
I think you agree with that. I think it's going to be a low scoring game.
And then Navy is going to go on and beat Oklahoma in their bowl game.
Ooh.
That's a hot take.
I don't know if it's going to be low scoring to me. I think this is whoever can triple option the best. This is a triple option masterclass.
Good job putting on the fucking light, you clown.
What are you talking about? Some of that.
It's not even light. It's a fucking screen.
Well,
can we please have a professional fucking go of this?
I was looking at Army schedule, and my Safari is in, or whatever this browser is in dark mode. That's why the lights turn off. But
I'm always in dark mode. Just ask my wife.
This will be whoever can triple option the best. I think Army has it in the bag. They're going to triple option their way to a 34-24 victory. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring due to what we've seen this season. In terms of the triple option.
Baby. Run the veer.
Army wins.
Yeah, I think it's great that Army actually returned back to their triple option. I know for a couple seasons there, they were trying to revolutionize their offense and try and get into the mainstream college football, but that's not what Army is. Army's triple option, run it straight up the middle, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and I'm glad that they're returning to that.